This is Getting Past Subtitles. My name is Sean Peel.
And I'm DK Lee.
And welcome to the last of the series. This is it.
Yep.
The last of our Buddy Cop series, which I think has been going okay. I feel like we've got one good one.
What do you mean?
Out of everything that we've seen so far.
I love the last one.
Mr. and Mrs. Cops.
Yeah, Mr. and Mrs.
Mr.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think there's two good films, but one technically wasn't even like right.
Yeah.
And then after that, then it's been kind of rough, I guess.
Mm.
So this week we watched a little bit different Hong Kong film, a 1988 movie called Tiger on Beat. And let me see, hold on. It was directed by Chia-Liang Liu, again in 1988. This was too much 80s is my problem. Honestly, I had trouble focusing. I had trouble paying attention. And it was just like overboard 80s everywhere.
It was a lot of like extravaganza.
Yeah.
Like it's just a lot of
just like classic 80s
exaggeration.
Hollywood.
Yeah.
Like blockbuster for its time. Just yeah.
Yeah, it was. I didn't particularly not like it. I thought the dynamic of the two characters, the main buddy cops,
Right.
were fairly interesting. I like the dynamic. I like the fact that the veteran, quote unquote, was kind of the
the goofball.
the goofball, whereas the newer dude relatively is a lot more like serious and I gotta get things done kind of guy.
He's the straight and narrow.
Right. And I kind of like that dynamic.
That's like the classic of like the real veteran, like the seniority is like, this job is easy. I'm just like slack off.
But this guy is like completely like a womanizer.
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
He's just he's just hanging out, like just chilling and
he plays like the star cop kind of archetype. That's like the
Right.
celebrity cop
Right.
kind of.
But there's also the element of he still knows what he's doing, kind of in certain moments where he's like
Maybe.
kind of, or maybe he's just so embedded within the crime world. He's just hanging out with all these guys as well. He's
far.
like, hey, I know what they're up to
Yeah.
because I'm part of it. Yeah.
Too far in the undercover scene.
Yeah. But I mean, it was I think just watching it as a fun buddy cop blockbuster-y movie, I think it's kind of it wasn't the worst.
Sure.
But I do think some of the story beats and just the way that it kind of played out were kind of weird and a bit contrived. It kind of fell apart by the end, and
Yeah.
and you're just okay, they're just doing this for the flair
Yeah.
at the end.
Spectacle.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I think that whole third act was actually, I was I couldn't even keep up with how much spectacle was even going on. For starters, the movie should have ended in an hour. It felt because they finally get the two bad guys, right? They put the brother in jail, and then there's the other lady who is the sister, and then they are all celebrating dinner, and she's I'm gonna go back home and whatever, and then there's playing a straight romance between her and Francis and whatever. It's kind of cultivated into the happy dinner.
Dude, let me just say, I knew she was gonna die. The moment she started liking the dude, I was like, oh, she's gonna die. She's gonna die.
So fucked up too, though.
Because that thing where they always do, where it's the person is about to leave forever,
yeah. and then leaves forever.
And then literally leaves forever. Well, not in the way that they expected, you know? That always happens. And I'm like, oh yeah, she's gonna go like, you know, to Australia or whatever. I was like, yeah, she gonna go somewhere. Definitely not Australia, but yeah.
Into the spiritual plane.
Anyways, go ahead.
But yeah, like all that was happening, and then like then that, you know, they get into the taxi. It's like, gotcha. You know?
Yeah.
It's like, oh.
And she takes like 50 bullets.
Yo, she turns into Swiss cheese, bro.
Oh my goodness. You know, like the brutality in this movie to women is just something else, man.
Bro.
Holy crap.
Oh my God.
Like for her, like the amount of like just abuse she got, like from Francis, from like everyone, like it's just.
I was like watching, like particularly like the scene where he was interrogating her, where her brother was. I was like, this movie did not age well at all.
I don't know what's up with these Chinese movies. You know, like all of these Chinese movies and these women who
equals.
There's no. Yeah. It's funnier because he's like, I usually don't hit women.
Yeah,
but this is a special case. She literally
just like dogs on her.
He literally like throws her into the glass table, and then there's that other, she waterboards her. He waterboards her.
Yep.
And then
almost
and then like kicks her in the crotch. Yeah. And then the cornstarch thing, and then later on he's like, yeah, I'm gonna give you a towel and some cup of like hot tea. Yeah. Like I was like, what?
I was just like, okay, like again, like I'm not like really watching it committedly through the movie, so it's like I'm seeing this happen. I'm like, what the fuck? And then like I'm looking back, and then they're having like the dinner scene, and it's like they're playing off the romance.
And I'm like, what?
No way!
Did you not see what just happened? Like,
did we just retcon
4 scenes before?
Yeah.
Like, are you really attracted to this man who just beat the hell out of you?
She's like, like he's a womanizer or whatever. I'm like, is that what you're worried about right now?
Oh my goodness!
Is that literally what you have a problem with?
The man smacked the crap out of you, man.
Smacked. Beat the shit.
Holy crap!
That was rough.
Yeah.
It was like, because it started with like the smack, right? Like she smacked him, and then he was like, and then like slaps her back, and it was like, ooh, that's rough. I'm like, damn. And then it just escalates from there. I'm like, what is happening right now?
I just didn't think the proportion of violence was, you know, like it was proportional to what she was doing. I mean, granted, she did like scratch him with the glass and stuff.
Yeah.
But I was like,
I can see like they try to like do like a tick for tack thing like every time.
But the thing is like, the man clearly has a lot more strength and can overpower in ways that does not require smacking her and throwing her into glass.
Truly excessive, though.
You have handcuffs for a reason. I don't know why you don't use them.
You're a cop.
You're a cop. Like, what? Bro.
And then, like, his partner is like, are you sure? Like, it's like, aren't you being a little too hard?
I know.
Like, he's like, no, it's okay. And then, like, shoots him off, like, out of the room.
And then he's just flirting with the sister.
Yeah, like
in the hallway or whatever.
Oh my God, that whole situation.
Yeah. Anyways, that was an interesting bit.
Hong Kong movies, bro.
Yeah, dude. Every time there's a Hong Kong movie, you're just like, the women, equality all around,
equality,
man.
Bro. Yeah. Communism at its finest.
I get a smacking, you get a smacking.
It's like, because I mean, like we talked about this a lot in Police Story, right? With the other girl with Jackie Chan, and she did all of her own stunts, and then she was like fighting back, and then like took the beatings and stuff. But in that way, it was like she's a trooper, like she's doing all her own stunts, like she's definitely taking those. But this is a completely different. Like,
I feel like it's very different because that was like during like a scene where they're like in like the mall or whatever, like they're like fighting and like it's just chaos, right?
Yeah.
Here it's like
straight up.
This is completely controllable within your, you know, it's in your own house, and and you know, there's literally 2 guys who can just like, you know, just immobilize her and not have her attack you.
Yeah.
And funnier thing is she wasn't sleeping before that, so you could have just
Yeah,
handcuffed her even before that if you needed to.
It went from 0 to 100 like
Real quick.
real fast.
And you're just like, okay, this is a little getting like you're literally interrogating her by waterboarding her and with cornstarch in her face. Like, dude,
What was it? He was like, he made his partner fetch. He's like, give me the antiseptic, and it's just like a block of Coke.
yeah, cornstarch.
With cornstarch. Oh my!
It was so weird.
Just so strange.
Yeah,
She didn't deserve that death.
yeah.
She didn't deserve to be turned into Swiss cheese because of that. Justice for her.
Marie Donna.
Mary Donna, yeah, Mary. That's what like really got me too, because it's like there's always like the love interest or like there's always like the center female character in the movies, and then but she dies like I guess pretty early on considering, and then like it just flips to the sister who is just kind of a nobody throughout the movie.
Yeah, she's really pretty non-existent.
Yeah,
At
and she's like
least-
the love interest for the partner.
Yeah.
But it's so sparse.
They don't really like develop much, right?
No.
They're like kind of like in the side whenever
Yeah.
Francis and
They just like sneak a conversation here or there.
yeah,
That's more about it.
and it's more implied that they're like getting it on.
Yes. Yeah.
Whereas you kind of see it with Francis and the other.
You know what makes it feel
Mary
weird? It's that like because like Mary was kind of that role, like the main woman centerpiece, but like played as like the antagonist, right? And then like swings over before she dies.
Yeah.
But then you still have like the third act of someone gets kidnapped and now you gotta like rescue her,
Right.
and then like all that, and then that just switches to like this third-rate character on the side, you
Right.
know? So like to do the finale, like it doesn't feel
Yeah.
like she's as important.
I
as,
mean, even her like turning to the good side, it felt very abrupt.
It
Like,
did, yeah.
I mean, it
I
just
mean,
feels
as
like,
we just talked about. With
yeah,
everything
with
else.
all of that, like it just kind of feel like okay,
Right.
they just kind of want her to be on the good side before she dies, kind of thing.
Sure.
Where I feel like they could have done the thing where just have her be kidnapped.
That's what I'm
instead of
saying.
dying,
Yeah,
right?
it would have felt better because like at least we know Mary. Like at
Yeah.
least like she's in the movie.
And then
more.
there's a level of like investment even with Francis to
Right.
her
Yeah, yeah.
at that point where
I would have bought that. I would go back for her.
Well, even
Kinda deal.
even if he didn't like love her per se, like he still cared for her enough in some weird way where he can still smack her, right? like there was something there, like even like right before she died, they were like talking in the room or whatever, and like
Right.
you know they had that little exchange, and it kind of felt like they had a mutual understanding, regardless of how we feel about it, right? There was, you know, and I think that if they made it so that she got captured, I think that he would care enough to go and try to save her, you know,
100%. Yeah.
and maybe that would have felt a lot more.
Worthwhile.
A lot more, yeah, and a lot. It might have felt better in terms of the investment we made to that character and the way that she should die, or the way that she deserves to die. In terms of like the level of investment that we have in that character.
If she dies during like the
Exchange
or
something, right?
something, yeah,
Yeah,
that would have.
because like even during the exchange falls apart, right?
Yep.
Like they like shoot them.
Yeah.
And they happen to have a
Yeah.
bulletproof vest, and then they retaliate.
Yeah.
That could have been a moment where she like dies,
dies,
right?
yeah.
Within the exchange or whatever.
And then it's like just fury and rage. Just
Yeah, or like
Yeah, so-
just like figuring something out,
I don't know.
and maybe they could have just taken both of the girls and one of them dies. Who knows? I don't know, but yeah.
It would have played off a little better than.
Mm.
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
But I think they wanted the saving the girl at the end kind of thing.
of course. Yeah,
Right? Which is why they chose the sister, because
that's all that's
Sisters.
left.
sister has a plot armor. So,
Oh,
but
I'm invincible.
yeah,
Yeah.
the finale was
Again, like I mean, to my earlier point where I was going was there was just so much going on because all right, okay, the girl dies, and then the sister gets captured, and then they go back to the warehouse for like the exchange for the brother who was in the hospital at the time, but like obviously he's like caught. The brother for his sister, right? And then like they pull a fast one on the cops, and then it turns out to like the big shootout action sequences.
Yeah.
But there's like so much going on in that sequence of like stunts and like rope shotgun
Oh yeah.
and like and just like and then there's like so many different fight scenes, like different like set pieces and like chainsaw fighting.
Yeah, there's so
and
much stuff like that. Yeah.
It was just and then like even
And the fight with the white guy.
the fight with the white guy
with
like,
the bayonets.
the bayonet, yeah, with the knife and stuff.
Uh,
Like it just felt like one big thing that was like more chaotic in the next after next sort of deal.
I think it was mainly like a showcase of action at that point.
Right. Yeah.
More
It
than
was like let's be creative and like
more than pushing the story forward. It was a lot of like, let's see what cool things we can do with what we have.
Because I mean, like the movie ends of literally we beat the bad guys, the sister is saved, we get promoted, roll credits.
Yeah.
Like it's like right after like all that sequences is done.
Yeah.
I guess my big thing is it felt like over and above extra because we had just came off of like before the dinner where they captured the brother and stuff. Like there's that big driving sequence and there's like the big chase sequence and stuff. And it's like that felt pretty huge and like finale-esque in a way.
Yeah.
And then we lead into like the same sort of sweet dinner goodbye scene, you know? Like it just felt like we did two endings back to back in a way, and that just kind of played a little weird.
It was the gotcha moment.
Yeah.
Where like he's sending her off in the taxi.
Yeah, like you said, oh,
like,
she
psych,
gotta die. Yeah,
we got 30 more minutes.
Yeah. That's why I looked at the time. I was like, oh, the movie's almost done. And I moved my mouse and that shit's like 30 minutes left. Like, huh? What? What kind of epilogue is this?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Because like the big arc was getting the drug dealer dude, right? The Chinese one.
Yeah.
And basically that happens at in an hour, right?
Yeah.
Which is why you're like, okay, I guess we're done. But then
they're like, we caught the drugs, and they're like talking to the news, and it's like these drugs are worth like $40 million, and they use they're doing the whole like we got the bad guys sequence, and then it's like, are you guys in line for a promotion now? And then like the big it's the whole wrap up thing. Yeah.
And then they're like, psych.
Yeah.
Not girlfriend, sister.
And it's like, nope, there are still bad guys left. What?
Yeah.
Huh? I don't get it. Yeah. Do you think that feels like forced in a way though, like contrived?
I mean, yes, but I mean it's like when I was watching it, I kind of like I just kind of felt like I just watched it for what it was, more or less.
Yeah.
Like I didn't try to like overanalyze it and be like, yeah, this is, right now because I'm doing this review, I'm overanalyzing it.
Right.
But like when I was watching it, I was just kind of enjoying the ludicrousy of everything. Right.
Yeah.
Even the smackdown, the interrogation and stuff. I was like, man, this is crazy.
Oof.
But I'm down for it. Let's see where this takes us. Like
this is the most bizarre, entertaining part of the movie.
I mean, there's so many like weird stuff, like the bathroom fight scene with the young guy.
Yeah, I thought the same thing.
And like. And all the jokes with the pants and the peeing and they like throw me the pants down,
Oh yeah,
in the beginning.
Yeah. The guy leaves naked.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah,
stuff like that. It's just all very like crazy and outlandish and.
Right. But that feels like that feels all like typical,
right.
Buddy cop comedy, like sort of that bizarreness,
that vibe.
Yeah, and it just like again, like just all kind of super 80s in a way. So like it was kind of on track of just being like very typical, I mean, like huge left ball in that interrogation scene for sure.
But yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like I was just kind of in for the ride and just watching it for what it was. But like if I am to be critical about it, like I think that the way that they crafted the last finale of the movie kind of felt like it's just so much all at once, and they're just really wrapping up everything.
Yeah.
And they wanted like 3 big like fight scenes, one with a chainsaw, one with the white dude, and one, I guess, with the last Chinese guy.
You always gotta fight the kung
boss.
fu white dude.
Yeah,
Always.
more white guys in this movie.
Plenty, yeah.
Speaking English.
They were, but that was like they were like the head gang, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
They were the real whatever.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I like the dynamic though. I like the dynamic of the cops
Between them.
Yeah, I thought the moment was funny when the young guy Michael, he comes out of the bathroom like all like scratched up.
Oh yeah.
And Francis is like, hey, like just tell them that you got mauled by a
Yeah,
dog because I don't want to write a report. And I'm like, dude, that's so like relatable. Like I just don't want to do the paperwork, so just tell them you got mauled by a dog.
Don't tell him you got beaten up.
I was cracking up during that one.
He got his ass beat, and he was like, "You get into a fight?" No, what got me was before that. He's like washing his face. He's like, "Stop the guys! I just got into a fight." He was like, "What? It's too late for that. They're going out for lunch." Even.
Yeah, I liked a lot of the smaller like funny bits. I didn't particularly care for a lot of the like slapstick bits too much, like
same.
the pants like and all that.
Yeah.
Those kind of things. I was just like, oh yeah, it's just par for the course for like these buddy cop movies. But I didn't really like. I don't know. I feel like Rush Hour did it better.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Rush Hour did it better.
Rush Hour is just like that's Apex Mountain right there.
Yeah, like and so watching it here, although this is like older, I'm like,
Right. You know, it's funny. Like sidebar story, but I was at work, I think last week, and I was like I just kept laughing at myself, and like scenes of Rush Hour were coming through my head, and like I just like had a real drive to like watch Rush Hour all of a sudden. And I was like, I don't know why, like I really like want to watch it, so I spent like all day at work just like watching like clips and scenes of
like the pan or whatever covering like
and
stuff. That's I don't know. I think Jackie Chan does a lot better like slapstick.
Yeah, I mean that's
comedy.
That's his thing, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're like the OG, but you know, their improvements clearly made makes it funnier.
But yeah, I guess like subconsciously, I'd remembered that we're doing a buddy cop movie. It was just like, oh yeah, good buddy cop movies, they exist.
Yeah.
But yeah, there are better examples of doing a good
slapstick
stuff.
Yeah.
It's funny that like, again, it's kind of like typical to have that in a buddy cop, but it's really not necessary because I mean I think again about Midnight Runners, where it's like they didn't really do slapstick at all. Like it was all just
they're like a little bit, but not to the extent of this. Yeah, for sure.
Definitely not forced slapstick.
Yeah,
but just,
it's more realistic
Yeah.
in the way that they like conduct their investigations and stuff.
Yeah.
Because there's an element of like seriousness there that is not really present in this movie.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like even when people die, you're kind of it feels like the cartoon death kind of thing.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
It doesn't feel like, oh man, this is serious.
Bro, when Mary died, like there was no mourning second.
Even her, like seeing her brother die.
Right.
And then the next scene is just the dinner scene and they're all like eating all together. And she's like, yeah, I'm gonna have to go to Australia now. I'm kind of sad.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go to my brother's grave or whatever. But it's like, doesn't feel.
There's no weight.
Yeah. There's no weight to that. I did like the action scenes. I actually liked the driving, the chase scene.
Did you?
With the cars and
like
and the stunts that Michael did. Like a lot of the stunts that was there.
Yeah,
cool.
I felt the same way actually. I think Michael did pretty cool.
I don't know if he did it himself or if
I feel like he did.
Maybe. I'm not
like,
sure.
Because in the, or at least definitely during like the last fight scene, because a lot of that was like clearly shot with him in it.
Yeah.
And so I mean, even there, he did some pretty cool choreography and stuff. So I agree with you there.
I like the car like going under the thing and like him jumping
yeah.
on top of the thing, and
I wonder if that was him. Yeah.
and yeah, like just like the funny like the bit where like he's like, oh, where did Michael go?
Yeah.
And then he's like on the other car like fighting the guys.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just overall I just thought it was like a cool way of doing the driving like chase scene thing.
I think Datsuns are cool. This movie like reassured me.
Weird.
The Datsun was kind of nice actually.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, is that a ooh, it's kind of nice actually.
Mm.
I would if I was a star cop, I'd own a Datsun too. Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. So Francis Lee playing the senior cop, right? Played by
Chow
Yun Fat,
Yeah.
who is a veteran for us as we watched the gambling series.
Mm.
Oh, what was that movie called?
God of Gamblers.
God of Gamblers. He's like, talk about an actor with range.
Yeah.
In a funny way.
Uh-huh.
But I don't know. I actually don't think I was too much of a fan of his character here. I think he did really great in God of Gamblers. I mean, that's like a really, really out there role, you know? But here, I don't know. It just
I kind of agree. I mean, I don't think it's necessarily his fault. I just feel like the character itself felt very ambiguous. Like he didn't feel as like solid of a personality.
Sure, yeah.
As like maybe the character in God of Gamblers. Like he just felt like there's so many things to him.
Yeah.
Like that it never really felt like he's playing this one character. It just kind of felt like he's like flipping all the cards and like it's like at this scene he's gonna be like this.
Right.
At this scene he's gonna be like that. It never felt like he's just like this one solid person who kind of like has different
like
he always feels very guarded, right? He never feels like it never really feels like he really opens up to anyone or like really kind of show like himself in one way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he feels like, I don't know, but in a way that's like there's no depth to him. I guess. Yeah. But I see what you mean because
kind of like it's just kind of like it just feels like flipping cards.
Right.
It's just
because for an example, like he's supposed to be like this big womanizing kind of character, but there are a lot of times that he didn't really feel like he met that trait, you know, but he pulls it out, like you said, in scenes that he has to.
Right, like in the beginning scene, you're like definitely like he's like, okay, I guess he is a womanizer, right? In the very beginning scene, but then in the moment when like you know Murray's about to leave and they're like kind of talking, they're like he kind of you're kind of made to wonder if he like really like is starting to love her or whatever.
Sure.
And that kind of stuff happens. But also like even the way that he acts towards his sister and all of that. All the different dimensions of it. I don't know. It kind of I feel like it kind of made the character feel a lot more shallow in like in the way that like
I mean he's pretty shallow, but
but like in just a term and not in terms of like the character, but just like how thin it is, like how spread thin it is, like all the different things that he's doing and like the way that he's kind of even like him being a cop who's experienced, like I said, like in certain scenes it feels like he kind of knows what he's doing, but in also other scenes it just kind of feels like he's a goofball and like he's not like doing it properly or whatever. And just like that inconsistency kind of constantly in the movie kind of feels weird.
Agreed. And I think it's like, I don't know. I mean, again,
I'll give you another example. Like does he know how to fight well or like, you know what I mean? Or is he just like somehow just like doing all these things?
That's a good point.
You know what I mean? Like that's kind of, those kinds of things are like constantly in the movie where you're not sure if he's this badass, like I can do everything, like, you know, fight really well, which he clearly can in certain scenes. And in other scenes, he's just kind of like he's fumbling over himself and he's not like, you know, not like sure. And he's like
it's like more brawler, but because it's weird that it plays off that I feel like you get the impression that he can fight, but like he's sort of like played as the opposite of He's not Michael, right?
Yeah.
So it's
But also like that scene when they first go into that bar with that older brother or whatever in the bar, and like Michael fights him. But like
yeah.
that in that scene, Francis is kind of like goading the bar owner or whatever to fight him or whatever, and it kind of feels like he's like playing the second fiddle to him and giving up his like ability to fight because the bar owner is clearly the better fighter, so he's putting him up against Michael kind of thing.
Yeah, he's got the wits.
Right. Yeah. And that kind of thing makes it feel like he maybe is not as strong.
Yeah.
And then like at the end of the movie, like he's just doing the shotgun trick and just like shooting up everyone and like
but that
fighting.
plays to like the wittiness, like
but even like the bayonet fight with the white dude and like all that. You know what I mean? Like it's not just like
my martial arts
right. It's like there's just so many things that kind of feel inconsistent in that way.
Agreed.
Which kind of plays to that, like just flipping cars whenever a scene needs him to be certain things. Like he just does it, and he does it well. Like it's not like the actor himself does it well, right?
Yeah, he's like I'm gonna do it.
like he pulls it off.
Yeah.
So it's like it's not like the worst.
Yeah.
It's not his fault, but I just feel like the consistency of the character, like Michael, I feel like is a lot more consistent in his character than him, and it kind of makes it feel like they're forcing him to play the jack of all trades kind of thing, like for Francis.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that works too well.
Right.
In terms of like being a buddy cop where you kind of want the two characters to play off each other. And like if he's just like, I can do whatever at any point that you need me to do, it kind of breaks that balance.
Yeah. It's like, I mean, I think in principle, I liked the like the base personality and dichotomy that they're pinning Michael and Francis against. Like you said, it's like rookie and then senior, but like the rookie's the straight kind of narrow cop, and he's like, I want to do things like right, and he's like, I'm more the fighter. He's like, I'm really like more cop than you're cop. Yeah. And Francis is like, I'm half-ass everything. Like I just kind of like go about.
And even in the beginning, like the first introduction, when they first meet together, right? Michael and Francis, he little pees in his pants, like that kind of thing, where like he's like scared of the moment and he basically pees in his pants. Like all of these inconsistencies within the character, it just kind of feels like. And yet, like I kind of like the performance that he did. Like it's weird,
Yeah, I mean, he does what he does well, for sure. So I think that's big credit to him as an actor, but. Yeah, like it's what he has to act. It's the writing,
right?
That is a problem at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That was kind of another bit of a problem. I just felt Michael is a likable character, though. Like a big contrast. I think personally, anyway, I feel like just leaned more towards Michael because I mean, just for the simple fact, like he's somebody you can latch on to for the most part.
Yeah.
Right.
He's. I think I feel like he's like the most normal dude.
Yeah.
Just trying to get things done.
Yeah, this is my job. Like I'm trying to bust these guys.
Yeah.
That's all I want. And then he takes like the fall for everything. Just like just like the only one that has to fight like him versus 10 guys.
Yeah.
All the time. Oh man. I don't know. I think like overall, like you said, like just kind of like watching this as sort of the blockbuster, like it's in the background TV kind of movie. It feels good. Any more than that is barking up more than you can chew. But I don't know. I think like even in that, there are just like we just talked about like Rush Hour, right? I feel like there's even movies that do it better than this in this sense. So
yeah, there are definitely movies that do it better.
Maybe Tiger on Beat 2.
Oh yeah, there's a 2.
It was an improvement. Anything else that you felt with this movie?
Yeah, the characters. I don't feel like they're the most memorable.
True.
That's it. Because it's really important in a buddy cop to have really distinct.
Have good cops.
Right. Have cops that you really like know from the get-go. Oh, this kind of cop and that kind of cop, like Bad Boys or like even I forget what the training day
Oh yeah.
with Alonzo Harris. Like those characters are just so like as soon as you see them, you're like, oh, I can tell what kind of character they're. Rush Hour, obviously, right? Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan, and even Shanghai Noon.
Oh my
That's
God.
technically a buddy cop in one way.
guess.
Well, not an adventure, but like a
Right, but it's a dual like,
duo adventure kind of thing, right? Like there's these like very distinct characters that you get out of these movies, which really that's what you really latch onto for these movies, right? These characters, and I think here it's not as strong.
They don't got that it factor,
right? Yeah.
Yeah, it does. I mean, like,
and the plot was kind of mad too.
Yeah, the plot was whatever.
The cocaine stuff. And,
I mean, I had like a lot of trouble, I think, following along just because it was pretty convoluted and stuff. But like, for them, like, I think, like you said, like, down to the bones, it really comes down to like a buddy cop is sort of the characters. It's like identity and like relationship.
Yeah,
like I think outside of the plot and outside of even all the side characters and stuff, if you can enjoy, the two main people on screen, then that can go a really long way for movies like this. Like, like Bad Boys isn't like the greatest plot or like greatest movie on page by like, like story wise, but like you love the dynamic between
even
those
like
two guys.
Men in Black, right?
Right.
Like it's like these characters, you just like straight up, you're just like, okay,
yeah,
I can get down with these dudes.
Right. And that goes like really far, in a bad movie, right? But this movie it lacks that, and it shows like the bad of everything else, So
I think that's what kind of even Miss and Mrs. Cobb kind of had issues with too.
Yeah,
just the definition of character, like both of the characters.
Right.
Midnight Runners did it a lot better, right? In terms of like the character development and just like the clarity.
Yes.
In which those two characters.
But I think they did. I mean, they checked all the boxes. Like, they did good in every department.
Right. But I'm just bringing up the example of characters. But
yeah. I mean, like, to bring up Veteran, which doesn't count. But I mean, even he was a good enough character as well.
Right.
And I mean, the plot and stories was also interesting enough, but I think he definitely carried the movie quite a ways as well. So you gotta do the main part right. That's kind of it. Talking about the series together, how do you feel about this? The 3-movie buddy cop.
Yeah. I mean, when we started the series, we intentionally picked movies that were a little more not the obvious buddy cop movies, right? Because we wanted to do ones that were a little different. Because if we just do Rush Hour 1, 2, 3, it's like okay, right? Like like that's a little too easy. So we tried different ones. So overall, just thinking about that aspect of what in choosing our series, I think it was pretty interesting. I liked the different picks. I didn't necessarily like all the movies, but I think overall, you just see the variety, I guess. It's very, I mean, like when you think about buddy cop, it's very formulaic, and yet there's little nuances that people make in the movies that and like we said, it's really about the characters, and if you can really enjoy those characters, I think regardless of if the formula is the same, you can still enjoy it in different ways. And I think this kind of proves that, right? Like all the different cops and the pairings, the duos, you can make an argument for why you enjoy those characters. And although Veteran, that's the one. Let's just say that was a good cop movie, and call it a day.
I can't even like give it the benefit of doubt of being like a cop squad movie, like, I mean, they get one scene and then that's it. Like, where are your teammates after that?
It's like the chicken shop one. What was that called again?
Oh, I forgot.
Extreme Job.
Extreme Job.
Yes.
But like, everybody gets love in that movie.
Yeah.
Like here, they get love for the first 10 minutes. You know.
But it is what it is.
For the record, did I try to argue for Extreme Job on this series?
You might have, yeah, and I shut it down. I was like, no,
Guys,
there's more than
people
two people.
People of the internet, I know best. Remember that.
No,
I know best.
no.
Veteran.
5 is too many people. At least veteran is one dude and one other side.
But
character.
at least mine qualified more into the category than.
Nah. That's an ensemble cast.
It's buddies cop, not solo cop.
Yeah. I enjoyed it overall.
Yeah.
I like Midnight Runners.
It's like for buddy cop movies, like you say, it is very a formulaic subgenre, right? And you clearly can what that looks like when you bring it up, but it's also just a very entertainment genre.
Right.
You know, it's you don't really get much else outside of just being like blockbuster kind of feel.
Which is why I feel like it's a lot more forgivable in terms of me criticizing it, like Tiger on Beat as well, where it's like,
True.
yeah, sure, like a lot of the plot points feel contrived, a lot of the way that they decide to bring the finale feels very forced and calculated, and very blunt. Like I can tell that that's what they're trying to go for at the end. Like you can see through all of these things, and yet I'm just still kind of okay with it because of the fact that it's for the fun, right? It's for the entertainment, it's for the spectacle, and they kind of deliver on that at the end, like crazy ass chain saw fights and
that good
jump
stuff.
rope shotguns,
jump rope shotguns.
I don't know, like all of those stuff is like it's for the fun, right?
Yeah.
And so I don't take it down as much as, let's say, something that is trying to be
like a regular cop movie.
No, like a company man movie.
Oof.
Or they're actually trying to be something and they're not fully understanding the logic that you need to follow, like the suspension of disbelief that you need to create.
Why don't we have a company man on the wall? It should be on the honorable.
We should.
We should
one day.
Yeah, we'll make an adjustment.
We'll make a shrine. Right?
Well, every episode.
Will one of these work for that movie? I don't think so.
Every beginning episode, we put light incense.
Yo, I like the movie to a certain point of the movie. An hour into the movie, I loved it, and then I don't know.
We should revisit.
See, that's the thing. In this movie, the finale at least felt consistent with the whole movie,
I guess.
Whereas I feel like Company Man, they really at the end, they're like, let's go for the finale, and just threw out everything else that they set in terms of consistency out the window. Personal take, but
hot take. Oh, what if we're the only ones that really dog that movie? We just talk to let's have guests on the show.
They'll be like, it's just a meme now. I don't particularly hate the movie or anything. It's just funny. It's fun to just call back on it,
It's because it's our most watched episode.
It's just fun to call back on it.
Oh man.
I do like the action scenes in that movie though. Except for the last part.
Lots of guns. Lots and lots.
I like the hand-to-hand combat stuff more than the gun part in that movie.
Mm. But regardless, lots of guns.
Yep.
Well, that's why, going back to what we were talking about, I do I am proud of Midnight Runners because, it is the opposite of what I said. That movie has a lot of substance to it, so it's it's just I think I like that movie so much because of that. It's you can actually do a really good movie that is a buddy cop movie,
And it really rides a tightrope really well, I think, in terms of balancing comedy and the serious tone.
Yes, yeah. just kind of being like like buddy cop movies are pretty straightforward of just being like action comedy for the most part, right? But that movie is well rounded, does a really good job of like suspense and like comedy, right? Just like a mix of tones and genres that kind of feel that I guess movies with substance have, And so it's like I said, it does walk a tightrope, but it really did like a solid job of doing that. So
Yep.
I like that movie a lot. I'm gonna go watch it again.
Not for a while.
No. I think I watched that movie way too much.
Yeah.
Just a little too much. Yeah, so
that concludes our buddy cop series.
Finally.
Yeah, it's been a while because of all the setbacks. But we've made it.
We're gonna be doing we're not taking a huge left turn, I guess. It is still pretty action heavy, but it is should be interesting.
I don't know. This is a pretty big left turn, no?
I guess a little bit, but this is a series that I guess I'm actually kind of surprised. I think on paper, if you were looking at us, you would be surprised that we haven't done this series yet, as long as we've been doing the show for. But I guess it's like a taste. We're kind of dabbling in it. We're not gonna do too much. We're gonna do kaiju movies, the monster flicks, sort of the classics of like Japan that you would think of, right? Only Japan, really. You think about like
the other one is just kind of we threw it in there.
There is definitely a Lee pick here.
This is not my pick.
It's all you.
No.
It's all you. We try to diversify. We're gonna be doing Godzilla, 1959, the original. Mr. Costume Man himself, right? We're gonna follow it up by the last, Japan's last Godzilla movie, which was Shin Godzilla, and then that should be an interesting comparison. And then we will do a third one instead of a fourth, and that'll be the host, Bong Joon-ho.
Why don't we do the host first, and then do the Godzillas? Just so that we can, I just feel like it might be a better way of
finishing off.
Yeah, just like thinking about the kaijus and then like the first movie and the second movie at the end, we can kind of discuss it all together, alongside host obviously.
Right.
And maybe see.
It's like we're doing one movie and then we have like the companions.
Right. The companions together at the end. I think it'd be cool to see the evolution of maybe the kaiju genre from the 59, you said? 59 to 2018, I think it was, right?
Ooh,
for Shin Godzilla. 16 or 18, I think. Yeah. Anyways,
it's gonna be a big, it'll be a very big jump.
Yeah, let's do that. So let's do the host first, and then go into really like delve into the kaiju, beginning and the end of it.
Mr. Godzilla himself.
Yeah.
I gotta get that was an amazing impression on my part. Okay. So host next week, Bong Joon-ho. This is kind of like also a return because we didn't watch that was the one Bong Joon-ho movie we didn't watch the first.
Yeah, we were thinking of doing it, and then I don't know why we decided not to, but I
think it's just like the pick of the litter.
Yeah.
And just compared to the others.
There are a lot of other movies. Yeah, there's so many that we wanted to watch, I guess.
Yeah.
And,
yeah, we just kind of pushed this. So
I kind of always thought we were gonna do a monster movie. So I think in the back of my head I was like, we can push it for later.
I'm not gonna mention it because I'm holding on to that one.
There's not a lot of Korean monster movies, I feel like.
Yeah.
And here
for anybody else either.
Yeah.
America, it's like really Hollywood and then like Japan.
Yeah.
That's kind of it. So, but yeah, I'm interested in this one for sure. I'm late on the boat. I'm sure a lot of people have seen the host if they know Bong Joon-ho and like Asian movies. I, on the other hand, this is like the one personally I actually haven't seen either. So let's see how it is. Yeah. We'll see you then. Shout out to our Patreon page. Come and check it out if you want to watch the host early, as well as the rest of the series. Should be a good one. Other than that, we will see you next week.
Peace. Bye.